You ever just find something so out of place, it punches you in the chest? Last week, I was just trying to change my son's diaper. That's it. Nothing dramatic. No snooping. No paranoia. No suspicion. Just a regular morning where the baby had a blowout. I was half awake, and the wipes were nowhere to be found. My wife's bag was next to the stroller. She keeps a couple extra diapers and wipes in there when she takes the baby for a walk. I grabbed it, reached inside, found a couple diapers. Cool. Reached in a little deeper, and something else fell out. A pack of condoms. One left. I just stared at it for a second. I wasn't even mad yet. My brain literally couldn't register what I was looking at. We haven't used condoms since our kid was born. She's breastfeeding, still hasn't gotten her cycle back, and we both agreed there's zero need for protection right now. So I picked it up, shoved it in my hoodie pocket, and tried to stay focused on the baby who was now kicking me in the ribs and shrieking like I'd offended him personally. I changed him, laid him back down, and waited for her to come out of the shower. And when she did, that's when it started. Hey, Janet, mind explaining this? I pulled the pack from my pocket, tossed it gently onto the dresser, just watched her face. And damn, the acting. Give her an Oscar. She blinked, cocked her head. What is that? You tell me. I've never seen that before. Are you seriously accusing me of something right now? WTF, you're telling me I planted this in your bag? Then came the gaslight special. No, I saw you pull it out of your pocket. Actually, are you hiding something? Screw that. I wasn't even angry at this point. I was shocked, hurt. Like standing in the middle of a road while a car's coming, but your legs forgot how to move. She was calm, flippant, even smiled at one point and said, "Oh, poor baby. You should have seen your face. I was just messing with you." Messing with me. She said she bought it just in case, because her period might be coming back. When I asked about the missing condoms, 2 were clearly gone. She said she gave them to a friend who hooked up with some random guy at a bar. Sure. That friend, her name's Maya. She's single, wild, and honestly, not someone I'd be surprised to hear that about. But something still didn't sit right. It was the way she said it, like she'd rehearsed it, too smooth, too confident, like she was selling me something instead of explaining it. That night, I didn't sleep. She did, like a damn baby. I laid in bed and stared at the ceiling. The fan made this soft hum, and all I could think about was the sound of her laugh when she said I looked like a puppy, like I was stupid, like this whole thing was a joke. We've been together 6 years, married for 3. Our son just turned 9 months. I've wiped up more spit up in the last month than I've had full meals. I've taken night shifts, pumped milk bottles, booked therapy appointments for her postpartum episodes, and smiled through every single passive-aggressive jab from her friends about how free she used to be, and now she's hiding condoms in her bag. She didn't apologize. She didn't even look scared. Flashback a year ago. She was glowing. Genuinely. When she found out she was pregnant, she cried on the bathroom floor. Not happy tears either. She didn't want a kid. Not yet. Said she wanted to travel more, do her yoga certification, maybe start that baking blog she'd been dreaming about for years. I talked her into keeping it. That's on me. She didn't blame me, not out loud, but things changed. Less touches, less eye contact, more nights where she'd just step out for some air, sometimes an hour, sometimes 3. I gave her space. I gave her everything. Present 2 days after the condom incident. I brought it up again. Gently. She blew up. Told me I didn't trust her. Said I was triggering her postpartum. Claimed she hadn't felt this low since the baby was born, and I was making it worse. She curled up in the bedroom. Didn't eat all day. Didn't respond to me. And when I tried to talk, she muttered, "You're not my therapist." I was done apologizing. Let her sulk. Let her avoid the truth. Meanwhile, I started digging. First clue, social media breadcrumbs. I checked her Instagram. Nothing weird. But one thing stood out. Her bestie Maya had posted a story a week ago, a bar night, some blurry photos. Nothing special, but in one frame, there was Janet, with some guy's hand on her lower back. Not too obvious, but not friendly either. That wasn't the worst part. The guy, he was tagged in another photo on Maya's profile from months ago. Janet liked that pic, commented with a flame emoji. I clicked the guy's profile. Public. He had a highlight called Vegas Nights. Guess who was in the background of one of those clips? Yeah, my wife, wearing the same top she told me she spilled wine on and threw away. That's when my stomach dropped. It wasn't just a suspicion anymore. It was a pattern. And patterns don't lie. The next morning, I acted normal. Made coffee, changed the baby, kissed her on the forehead like everything was fine. She smiled at me like nothing happened, like she hadn't spent the past week rewriting reality and gaslighting me into the ground. Meanwhile, I was in full-blown recon mode. Checked her phone. No. She guards it like it's holding state secrets, sleeps with it under the pillow, has a Face ID lock and that extra security app with a fake home screen in case someone borrows it. Sketchy as hell. So I did what any slightly broken but resourceful person does. I went through her old laptop. She barely uses it anymore. But I remembered her logging into her email there last month when her phone died. Guess what? She never logged out. Boom. Inbox clean. Suspiciously clean. But the sent folder, goldmine, messages to Maya with subject lines like Vegas crew and your boy was fire. I opened one from about 3 weeks ago. Honestly, I don't even feel bad anymore. He wanted the baby. I gave him that. I deserve something for me. What the actual F? That's how she thinks of me, of our son, like I'm a sperm donor and a walking paycheck. Another message, even worse. He still doesn't know. I almost slipped when I left the condom pack in the wrong bag. Thank God he didn't flip. Guess I flipped late, huh? I stared at the screen, breathing heavy like I was underwater, like this wasn't happening to me, but to some dude on a forum post I'd read at 2 a.m. And I'm just in the comments going, bro, leave her. Now I'm that guy. That day, I started documenting everything. I wasn't going to confront her again. That's what she expects. She wants a fight, a chance to cry. Twist the narrative, make me the villain, so she gets to play victim. Nah, this time I'm not yelling, I'm collecting. Screenshots, photo logs. I backed up her emails, took pictures of the used condom pack, printed out the flight confirmations she tried to delete from her junk folder. Maya's name showed up on 2 of the bookings. Round trip to Miami, hotel under a guy's name who sure as hell wasn't mine. I wasn't even mad at Maya anymore. She was a pawn, maybe complicit, but not the architect. That was all Janet. 3 days later, she walked into the kitchen like she hadn't just emotionally nuked our marriage. She made pancakes. Thought you could use some sugar. She smiled. I wanted to vomit. I played along, took a bite, said thanks, kissed her on the cheek. That night, when she passed out on the couch, watching one of those trashy reality shows she loves, I sat in the dark nursery, rocking our son while staring at the crib mobile spinning slowly. You didn't ask for this, I whispered to him. And I swear to God, you won't pay for your mom's bullshit. I didn't cry. I didn't even blink. I just sat there, letting the last 5 years play in my head like a crappy highlight reel. Flashback to when we met, a friend's rooftop party. She was magnetic, not just hot magnetic. Everyone floated toward her. She had that it girl glow free spirit, no filter, didn't give a damn about your opinion. I was hooked on her chaos, honestly. She had no job at the time. Said she was figuring things out. I found it charming, fresh. Meanwhile, I was grinding through law school, barely affording ramen and rent. But I still made time for her, paid for everything. Bought her a new phone when hers cracked. Let her crash at my place for a weekend that turned into a year. People warned me, she seems slippery. I said they didn't know her like I did. I was right. They didn't. But they were also right. A week after finding the emails, I needed to know how far this went. I wasn't going to ask her, because I knew what I'd get: more lies, more tears, more "you don't trust me" guilt bombs. So I reached out to Maya. Not directly. I used a burner. Made an Instagram account with a fake name, followed her public profile, and started reacting to her stories like some thirsty fanboy. Within 2 days, she followed me back. I dropped a casual DM: "Hey, weren't you at the Mondrian last month? I thought I saw you there." She bit. Replied: "Lol, yup, that trip was wild. I pushed that girl with you red hair, black leather jacket, looked like a movie star." Maya: "Haha, that's Jay, my ride or die. You should have seen her with the DJ." There it was. Confirmation. No need for specifics. No need to ask if she was married. Maya was just spilling tea like it was harmless gossip. I kept the screenshots. Here's the thing: I didn't want revenge. Not really. I wanted answers. I wanted the woman I loved to say, "I messed up. I was stupid. I'm sorry." But she wouldn't. I knew that now. She wasn't sorry. She was entitled. And that hit me harder than the cheating. She thought she deserved this. That because she carried our son. She got a free pass to live like she was single again. Like I was just this safe, boring fallback option. Newsflash: Janet, I'm not your plan B. I started thinking long term. Not divorce yet, I needed leverage. Custody, financial clarity, evidence, and most of all, calm. You can't win when you're raging. She'd use that in court. She'd spin it like I was unstable, threatening, dangerous. So I kept playing husband. I made dinner, did laundry, took selfies with her when she asked. But behind her back, I was a one-man intel agency. Hired a PI, quiet guy, discreet, former military, got referred through a friend of a friend. Cost me a few grand, but within a week, he handed me photos. Janet, at a club, sitting in some dude's lap. Another pic: same guy leaving her building around 6 a.m. Time-stamped, geotagged. She told me she was doing a late yoga class that night. I laughed when I saw it. Not bitter, not sad, just done. She cheated, repeatedly. She lied, casually. She weaponized her postpartum to avoid accountability. And she was still sleeping beside me, like she wasn't burning everything we built to the ground. So yeah, I was pissed, but I wasn't stupid. This wasn't going to end in yelling matches and slamming doors. This was going to end on my terms. It's weird pretending everything is fine while plotting your exit. You start noticing the little things. The way she hums when she's cooking. The way she triple checks her phone when she thinks I'm not looking. The fake smile she puts on when she hands me the baby, like I'm a babysitter and not the damn father. She thinks she's in control. That's cute. I kept it going for another 2 weeks. Planned out every detail. Step 1, lock down the baby's safety. Step 2, prepare for custody war. Step 3, make sure when she finally finds out what I know, it's too late for her to spin it. The lawyer I hired was a friend of my uncle's. Old school guy. No sugarcoating. "You want full custody?" he asked. I nodded. Then we're going to need more than some PI photos. I want documentation. Videos, behavior logs, evidence of neglect, instability, anything that puts your kid at risk. Copy that. So I started watching her, not like a creeper, like a journalist. She'd go out for drinks with Maya at least twice a week, never home before 2 a.m., sometimes reeking of smoke. One night, she came home clearly drunk, tripped over the baby gate and didn't even check on our son, just threw her heels in the hallway and passed out on the couch. I recorded that. Another time, she left for a day spa, came back sunburnt with sand still on her legs. Yeah, Chicago has no beach spas like that. I logged everything. Date, time, behavior. Meanwhile, I was taking more hours off work to be with the baby. Called in favors to rearrange my schedule. Started working remote 2 days a week. My boss noticed. "You okay?" Manny asked. "Just some family stuff," I said, trying to make sure my son grows up better than I did. He nodded and said, "Respect." That moment stuck with me. One morning, Janet asked if I wanted to go on a little getaway. Just us. I almost choked on my coffee. Now she wants to reconnect. She probably felt me slipping. She could sense it, the way women do when their emotional safety net starts backing away. I told her I'd think about it. That night, I looked through her browser history on her laptop again. Guess what she Googled? What happens if you lose custody after cheating? Can a cheating mom lose custody? Can husband track my location legally? My heart actually slowed down. I wasn't even mad anymore, just impressed at her paranoia. Yes, Janet, yes, I can track your location, and I have been... Thanks for asking. Then it happened. She slipped. We were having dinner. Nothing fancy, just takeout sushi. The baby was in his high chair playing with edamame. She was scrolling through her phone like always. Barely present. And I, in my calmest, deadest tone, said, "You ever think about how fast trust can break?" She froze for a split second, just long enough, then looked up, smiled too wide. "What do you mean?" I shrugged. Like, when someone finds out you're not who you pretend to be, that kind of break. She set the phone down. "You're being weird lately." Am I... Yeah, she said, like, distant. Distant. That was rich. I had practically turned into a ghost in this marriage, and now she wants to play psychologist. I smiled. Just tired, I guess. But in my head, I was already gone. 3 days later, the opportunity fell into my lap like fate was on my side for once. Her phone lit up while she was in the shower. Normally, I don't touch her stuff. Even during all this, I kept my boundaries. But this time, I just reached the notification preview. "Can't stop thinking about last night. When can I see you again?" No name, just a number. I screen recorded it, then did something risky. I opened the thread. "Him next time, lose the ring." Her haha oops, "You're bad." Him, "You're married, that makes you bad." Her not married, just legally attached to a good paycheck. Boom! I airdropped the conversation to my phone. Screen capped everything. Sent it to my encrypted email account. And then I put the phone back exactly where it was. She never knew I saw it. That night, I didn't say a word. Neither did she. It's funny once you stop chasing truth from liars. You start noticing how loudly silence speaks. She avoided my eyes all dinner. Probably sensed something. Too late. I finally reached out to Maya. Texted her directly this time. "Hey, we need to talk. I'm not here to fight." She replied 20 minutes later, "What do you want?" "I want the truth. Not for me, for my son. I already know most of it." She ghosted me. 2 hours later, Janet's phone started ringing in the living room. She picked it up, whispered, then stormed into the bedroom and slammed the door. A minute later, "Why are you talking to Maya?" "Ah, so we're not hiding it anymore." I stayed calm. I didn't talk to her. I texted her. "You're not exactly chatty these days." She stood in the doorway, shaking. "You're trying to destroy my life." "No," I said. "I'm trying to protect mine." That shut her up. She cried. Again. Gave me the same tired lines about how I've been feeling trapped and you don't know what it's like to lose yourself after becoming a mom. I told her I sympathized. I also told her that it doesn't give her a free pass to F***K around and lie for months. Then I left the room. I was done playing house. Next day, I met with my lawyer again, gave him everything, screenshots, messages, logs, even baby monitor audio of her stumbling and drunk one night while I was at my parents' house with the kid. He nodded slowly. "We've got enough to make a serious case." "How strong?" I asked. "Strong enough that if she wants joint custody, she'll need a miracle and good PR." That was the first time I smiled in weeks. That weekend, she asked if I wanted to go to brunch with her and Maya. The F***King audacity. No, I said, why? Not in the mood for fake friendships and real lies. She blinked. You don't have to be mean. I looked her dead in the eye. I'm not being mean. I'm being honest. Something you should try sometime. I knew I was escalating things, but I didn't care. She played games for months, treated me like an idiot, like a placeholder, like a walking wallet who should be grateful she stayed around long enough to bless me with a baby. I wasn't gonna yell. I wasn't gonna hit walls or cry in the bathroom. I was going to take her entire house of lies and knock it down piece by piece. Quietly, legally, thoroughly. 2 days later, she tried to sleep with me. Swear to God. No warning, no build-up. She just crawled into bed wearing lingerie I hadn't seen since before the baby was born, and slid her hand across my chest like everything was okay. I didn't move. Didn't flinch, didn't even look at her. She whispered, "Don't you miss me?" I stared at the ceiling. You miss something when it's gone. You were gone before I even noticed. Silence. She pulled her hand back like I burned her. Then came the soft sniffle. Classic. I just want us to be okay again. Too late. I got up, grabbed a blanket, slept on the couch again. The next morning, she acted like nothing happened. Made waffles, played with the baby like she was auditioning for a mom blog. I watched her from across the kitchen, holding my coffee like it was the only thing keeping me from exploding. She was trying to manipulate the narrative before I could blow it up. But I had a plan. That night, after she left to grab drinks with Maya, I texted Kyle. Kyle is Maya's boyfriend, or was, at this point, who knows. We'd only met once, briefly, and I remembered him as a chill guy, totally normal, way too clean-cut for the chaos Janet and Maya swim in. I found him on Instagram, sent him a DM. Hey man, I know this is out of nowhere, but can I talk to you about Maya and Janet? He replied within the hour, so what happened? I've got something you probably deserve to know. I'm not trying to start drama. I just think we're both being played. I expected pushback. Instead, call me. I did. We talked for nearly an hour, and holy shit, he had no idea. Turns out, Maya had told him she was coaching Janet through a depressive spiral, and they'd been having support nights to help her cope. Support nights. That's what they're calling vodka and dick now. He was pissed. Not at me, at them. I offered to send screenshots. He said, please do, so I did. All of it. The next night, Kyle showed up at our place. Without warning, knocked on the door like it was a normal visit. Janet opened it, wearing an oversized hoodie and zero makeup. Her domestic look, she froze. Kyle, what are you? He stepped inside without asking. Hey, Janet, thought you'd want to see me in person before your whole house burns down. Her face went white. She glanced at me like I was supposed to help. I leaned on the wall and sipped my water. Janet, what are you talking about? Kyle pulled out his phone, started reading. He still doesn't know. I almost slipped when I left the condom pack in the wrong bag. Ring any bells? She looked at me again. I can explain. I shook my head. No need. You're doing great. Then Kyle said something I'll never forget. You used Maya as your mouthpiece and thought no one would ever fact-check your bullshit. But the problem with building lies around people you don't respect, they stop protecting you. Janet tried to defend herself, started crying. Blamed the baby, her hormones, the stress, the pandemic, the pressure of being a wife, the fear of losing herself, every excuse. No ownership. Same old performance, different audience. Kyle didn't buy it. I didn't either. She tried to hug him. He backed away, said, "You're not Maya, but you made her worse." Then he walked out. Janet slammed the door, spun around and yelled, "Are you happy now?" I finished my water, Not yet, but I'm getting there. Later that night, she sat on the floor by the baby's crib, sobbing. At first, I thought it was an act. But when I peeked in, she was talking to our son like he could understand. I'm sorry. I didn't mean for it to get this far. Mommy just wanted to feel something again. I didn't want to hurt Daddy. I didn't want to hurt you. For half a second, I felt something. But then I remembered her laughing in those messages, mocking me, dismissing me, lying through her teeth while I held our crying baby alone at 3 a.m. She had choices. She made them. Now I was making mine. 3 days later, she woke up to a formal letter on the kitchen counter from my lawyer. I served her divorce papers before breakfast. When she read it, she went pale. You're divorcing me. I didn't even look up from my coffee. That's what it says. She started pacing. You didn't even talk to me. You're just blindsiding me. I set my mug down. You had plenty of chances to talk. You chose lies instead. Her voice cracked. This will ruin everything. No, I said, you already did that. This just makes it official. She broke down. Screamed. Threw a plate. Classic meltdown. The baby started crying in the next room. I stood up, walked past her, and picked up our son, held him tight. She followed me to the nursery, whispering through tears, Please don't take him from me. I turned to her. You weren't thinking about him when you were out at 3 a.m. with random dudes. You weren't thinking about him when you came home drunk and passed out without even checking on him. She shook her head. That's not fair. No, Janet. What's not fair is a kid growing up thinking this is what love looks like. What's not fair is having to explain why mommy's never home, or why she's always on her phone laughing at someone else's texts. Silence. She crumbled to the floor. I walked away. My lawyer advised me to move fast. We filed for emergency custody, citing neglect, emotional instability, and documented infidelity. We had it all. Emails, texts, photos, statements from Kyle, PI reports, behavioral logs, voicemail recordings. Janet didn't even fight it. Didn't have the energy. Or maybe she realized the house of cards was gone and she was standing in the rubble. She tried to negotiate for joint custody. We offered supervised visitation. She accepted. No fight. Her friends started reaching out. Maya ghosted her. Kyle dumped Maya. Word spread fast. A few tried to guilt trip me, said I should have just let it go for the sake of the family. I blocked them, because here's the thing no one wants to admit. Forgiveness isn't weakness, but forgetting is, and I will never forget what she did. Not because I want to hold a grudge, but because I refuse to let my son grow up watching me normalize betrayal. She moved out 2 weeks later, tried to hug me goodbye. I stepped back. Don't do that. Her face fell. I still love you, she whispered. I stared at her for a long second. I loved the version of you that loved me back. But she hasn't lived here in a long time. She didn't argue. She left. I walked into the nursery. Our son was sleeping, face smushed against the side of the crib, one sock halfway off. I sat beside him, exhaled for the first time in what felt like months. This wasn't the ending I imagined, but it was the one I needed. Because sometimes the only way to rebuild your life is to burn down the lie you built it on. Janet's gone. Like, actually gone now. The apartment feels still. Not peaceful yet, just weirdly quiet, like the walls are waiting to see if I'll finally scream. I won't. I've done enough screaming inside my head for a lifetime. She left with 2 suitcases, a trash bag full of clothes, and a look on her face like I was the one who ruined everything. Like I'm the one who blew up our marriage because I dared to draw a line in the sand after months of being lied to and disrespected. It's almost funny. Almost. She didn't have a place lined up. Told me she was staying with a friend. I didn't ask who, didn't care. That was her problem now. She asked to keep some stuff here just for a bit. I told her she had until the end of the week. After that, anything left behind goes in the trash or to Goodwill. I'm not running a damn storage unit for my ex-wife's broken dreams and regret. The baby's doing okay. Actually, better than okay. He's sleeping better, less fussy, happier, even. Makes me wonder if he was absorbing the tension the whole time. If babies can feel when the air in a room is poisoned by lies and fake smiles. I hold him a little longer these days, just because I can, just because I want to. Every diaper change, every bottle, every late-night rock to sleep, it doesn't feel like a chore anymore. It feels like proof that I showed up, that I stayed, that I didn't let her mess turn me into a ghost. A week after she left, she tried to come back, not to live here, just to visit. No warning, just showed up at the door like this was still her life. I didn't open it. Told her through the intercom that everything needed to be arranged through legal channels. "You're really going to do this?" she asked. "Yes." "Yes, I am. You don't nuke your own marriage and then stroll back like it's a coffee run." She started crying, said she missed the baby, said she wasn't doing well, said she'd been crashing on couches and barely eating. Not my problem. Seriously, not my problem. You want to live like a teenager with no responsibilities. Don't expect to be treated like a grown-up when life smacks you in the face. That same day, Kyle texted me. Said, "Heard she's couch surfing and begging people for money. Just a heads up, she might try to guilt her way back into your place." I told him. She already did. Then he said something that stuck with me. "She's gonna spiral before she stabilizes. Don't let her drag you into the spin." He was right, because 2 nights later, she showed up again. This time with flowers, a freaking apology cake. No joke, she baked a cake that said, "I'm sorry, I didn't open the door." Just watched through the peephole as she sat on the steps for 20 minutes, sobbing and holding a bakery box like it was a hostage negotiation. Eventually she left. Left the cake too. I threw it out. Didn't even open it. The next court date was quick. She didn't contest anything. Not the divorce, not the custody arrangement. I think she knew. She looked tired, hollow. Her lawyer looked uncomfortable. Mine sharp as hell. We got full custody locked in. She gets supervised visits twice a month at a licensed center. Not our home. No overnights. No unmonitored communication. She cried in court. Said it wasn't fair. Judge didn't even flinch. She'd seen the logs, the evidence, the character letters, the babysitter testimonies, the drinking pattern, the inconsistency, the messages. Fair. Fair was gone the moment Janet chose bar tabs over bedtime. Couple days later, my parents moved in. Temporarily, they say, but it's been 2 weeks, and honestly, I'm not complaining. Mom helps with the baby. Dad fixes stuff around the house I didn't even realize was broken. The baby's in love with both of them. Feels like a real home again. Like there's actual warmth here. No more eggshells. No more pretending. No more smiling through pain just to keep the illusion alive. Janet's social circle imploded fast. Maya got dumped by Kyle. Some of their girls' night crew distanced themselves when the story came out, mostly because they didn't want to get dragged into court as witnesses. One of her so-called friends even DM'd me to say, "I always knew something was off with her. Sorry you had to go through that. Gee, thanks." Real helpful now. She texted me last night. Not about the baby, just a straight up "I miss you." Didn't even respond. What was I supposed to say? I miss the version of you I made up in my head. Because the real you, the one who gaslit me, cheated on me, used our baby like a get-out-of-jail card. then tried to flip the narrative when it all came crashing down. Yeah, I don't miss her. Not even a little. We had our first supervised visit this week. She showed up late, looked rough, hungover maybe, eyes puffy, makeup smeared like she tried to clean herself up in the Uber and gave up halfway. The baby didn't recognize her at first. Took him a full 5 minutes to even make eye contact. She tried to play it off, forced giggles, kept saying his name in that high-pitched fake mom voice like she was auditioning for forgiveness. He cried halfway through. Clung to the social worker more than her. It broke something in her. I could tell. She looked at me like, "Why is he afraid of me? You want the truth." "Because you left, Janet. You left when it counted." And babies remember absence just as much as they remember love. When we got home that day, I sat in the nursery holding him, and something hit me. I survived. I made it through the storm. And yeah, I've got scars now, trust issues, exhaustion, this constant second-guessing voice in my head, but I also have clarity. And peace, and a son who knows what stability looks like. Couple nights ago, I deleted all the saved screenshots. The folder titled Janet Receipts. It's gone now, backed up in my lawyer's archives if needed. But off my devices. I don't need it anymore. That part of my life over, I told a friend recently, it's not the betrayal that broke me. It's the fact that she felt so entitled to it. Because cheating sucks. Yeah. But gaslighting that shit rewires your brain. Makes you question reality. I spent months thinking I was the problem. And now I know the truth. I wasn't too paranoid. I wasn't too needy. I was just too trusting with the wrong person. Never again. I'm not dating yet. Not even thinking about it. Right now, it's just me and my kid, and that's more than enough. We're healing together. Every morning starts with laughter instead of silence. Every night ends with bedtime stories instead of arguments. It's not perfect, but it's real. And for the first time in a long-ass while, that's enough.